Alright, so this one was not working, sold as parts. They changed the price on it because it doesn't work. We suspect it's either completely tacoed or maybe something to do with the input, the washer, and that is missing off of it on the input jack, which is a little suspicious. But anyway, I'm going to open this thing up and we'll take a look and see what we can find. We should find something visual. Alright. I'm going to use the Bauer that I repaired the LEDs on yesterday. We're just going to go ahead and try and be careful with these. The main thing is I just don't want to sit here all day doing it. Pretty sure this has been opened up. Okay. Usually what I do with these, you see somebody boogered it on the back. They boogered it on the back opening it. Don't ever open these with a screwdriver. You'll booger up the back. Right there. That's somebody pried on this thing with a screwdriver. Just take it and go like this. Drop it out the bottom. There's not a lot to these, okay? So, anyway, let's see what we can find. There's going to be something bad, I guarantee it. Let's zoom in. Maybe out a little bit. Alright. Okay, I am going to pull this entire board. And we're looking for something wrong in the input. What this entails doing is removing the other thing on the pots. And then we have this. This is your power amp right here, believe it or not, dude. Hold on, let me really show you guys. So, that right there is your power amp. So if these burn out, you can just buy a tiny little MOSFET, I think it is. And let's see if we can read the number. TDA 2030A. Oh, March of 008. Interesting. Okay. And this thing has only how many leads? It has, I believe, 5. It's actually an amplifier chip. Let's see. We actually have a date on here too, I think. Let's see here. What does this say? sp10. They're pretty hard to blow out because they don't make a lot of power. I can't read what that says, but Axel is a company that makes a lot of stuff for Squier. They make the switches for the guitars and stuff like that. You get a little MOV in there. Oh, the coolest thing you could do to one of these would probably be to upgrade the speaker. In fact, this doesn't even look like the right speaker. The only reason I know it is because I see the paint marks on the thing still. I'd say basically. Now, if you ever end up having to pull these, you could end up with a big problem because the screws go through here and they're hidden under the Tolex. So if they start to spin, you won't get them off. You'll actually have to strip the Tolex off, which I would recommend you just figure out where it's spinning and pierce it with a razor. Usually though, what they do is they put this through a hole like this and they put glue on top of it to keep it in place. So we can do a little bit of troubleshooting really quick just to make sure, but I mean, I know it does light up. So let's try and do that. I'm going to come back and put this on the tripod. Alright, we got the guitar out. And I'm going to come over here and plug this in. This unruly cord. Okay. So, it does make a noise at first. Also, if that headphone switch goes bad, it can might actually have bad caps. So, so anyway, with this, I'd say we need to maybe get in here and check a couple of things. I want to see if there's voltage everywhere where it should be, see what it is. I don't have a schematic for this. I don't think Fender publishes their schematics for these. Okay. We have, let's see. I gotta get this thing where I can see it better. So, I mean, it is lighting up and all that fun stuff. What are these blue wires going to? You get blue and black. You get a fuse on here. That's going to be 120 volts right there, I think. Why would they do that? Okay, I can see the green wires going to the ground shield. And we got white and black going to switch. The white wire goes directly to the transformer, it looks like. There's a little piece right here that looks a little funny. Okay. So white goes directly to transformer. And then the black wire goes into the switch. Comes back out into one of these red ones here. Looks like right here. We don't really have a way to measure that. Okay. So the red wire here is another one of the primary wires. Alright, let's... Okay, so I can see the primary wire. The red and the white are primary wires. White's directly to power. This one comes off the board. We have a fuse. Everything looks good there. The secondary side is right here. We've got 3 wires. They must be pulling different voltages. And this is before the rectifiers, so we need to be in the AC mode. We'll check. That's interesting. 0.6. 0.6. I don't know what that one might be. I can probably just go to the back of it. You know, I'm not measuring. Oh, there. The thing wasn't even on. Okay. I can hear the hum. So we get 2 volts between the black and the blue. And then 1 volt between the other side. Between the 2 blue, we should have like about 6 volts maybe. We had 23 volts. Jeez. Okay. Let's see if we have anything on here. These are all marked. They need to be DC. You get 14 volts going to that. 14. Okay. 14. So let's see. 14. That's 14. Where's the other one? So these two right here might be 28. Do you get 29 volts on this thing right here? Alright, I think that thing's correct, but I mean, I might be wrong. So, we're just going to have to pull the board. I really don't want to do that because of this here being so hard to get to. But, anyway, I can't think of any other easy way to do it. Alright, we get the knobs off of it. I just gotta get that and that and that. Alright, let's get this thing. I don't get too fancy with these. I usually try and keep a wrench around. They're usually not very tight, so that's not a big deal. And then this one here is going to be a different size. It's preferred to use a wrench and not a crescent wrench because they can slip and booger up things. But I don't have a lot into this, and I'm not going to sit here and dig around for the 12 or 13 millimeter that they're using. I'm not even sure which. So now we've got to be really careful to remove this board without breaking the wires to the amplifier. These actually use a metal piece right here for the squire emblem, 2 little screws in it. It's kind of cool. See, if you didn't like this, you could just build your own amp in here. It really isn't that hard to do. Especially with the technology we have nowadays, you could just buy an off-the-shelf amplifier and just stick it in here. So for what I paid for this, I could easily just go ahead and do that. So let's see that. Now part of the problem here we're going to have is some of these other things are going to be stopping us from getting to a lot of this. One thing you can do if you really want to, you can unsolder that, but it's not recommended. I'm probably going to get in here and clip this, give myself a little more room. Okay. We got kind of funny how they put all this in between here. I honestly think at this point I am going to unsolder this. So, turn my soldering iron on. This is pretty simple stuff. For the average person, maybe not, but okay. So what we're gonna end up doing is I'm gonna unsolder the speaker wires, get those out of my way, and I'm gonna unsolder this, and then I just need to do the power wires, basically, I think, and I'll get this board out of here. So my soldering iron's heating up right now, and this should be fun. Don't do this at home, kids. Big chunk of wood right there where they glued it. Because they glued it and then they put the thing down when they shouldn't have. Alright. Hopefully I got enough room. And I'm just putting my finger on this thing. You can use a desoldering tool, it's what you should do. But I'll do that later after I remove these. And just go through and keep putting pressure on it. Each time I go through, a little bit at a time, it pulls out a little further. There we go. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, I need the speakers. Somebody did not solder these on here correctly. Oh, no, that one was. Okay. So we get that. We might be able to get... We can get to it enough to see if there's a problem. I don't see anything at all. But what might have happened is they might have broke these. Because these don't like to be moved like that. So let me see if I got my flashlight over here. I've got a really bright flashlight. We'll just put this on for a second. So what we were looking for here was like a break in this, but honestly, it's either going to be a capacitor that's bad on here, which this thing looks a little suspect. So it does make noise, and we can test the variable resistors by putting our meter on them and just adjust them. I can take a guitar cord and plug it in here and test this to see if there's an issue with that. I don't really think there is. And there's a couple of op amps on here. Maybe those are op amps, I'm pretty sure. Probably for distortion. We've got some rectifiers to check. But other than that, this is like pretty basic. Let me get in here. Okay, so my bet would be on one of these capacitors probably having failed. So a 2200, and those are the filter supply ones. I'm not really seeing anything else that looks suspicious. Let's see. That's weird. There's a little bead of solder right here, and I don't think it's from me. There's 2 little beads of solder. You always see the weirdest crap. I don't know if you guys can see them, but right next to the fuse, there's 2 little beads of solder. Solder balls are not good. So let's see. Do we see any burnt parts? The resistors I'm looking for to see if there's anything burnt. I don't see anything burnt. These pots look a little suspicious, but other than that, they're probably fine. Let's see. I'm looking to see, is there a cold solder joint or anything on this? Let me get in here closer. See a little solder ball on this thing too. Those are all bad. They all look bad to me. Why is that wiggling like that, right? Am I just seeing things? Okay. It might be just me moving the board. But it looks... I thought for sure I saw it moving. I think it's just the board. What I'm going to do really quick is I'm just going to reflow those while I have the iron on. Okay. It doesn't take but a second. Okay. So that's been reflowed. So there's nothing suspicious there. Could be just a little module is burned out. I don't really know how to test that thing because it's not a regular transistor. It's a package with like 5 legs. So basically, there's going to be an input and an output on it. It's basically an amplifier package. We'd probably want to look and see how much one of those little amplifiers cost, and then we'd be looking at these next. It's unlikely that these would be bad, but let's just say they were. Then these are 458D. Whatever that is, there's a little schmutz on this thing. So, most likely these two, or these ones. Probably not any of these. These are tone shaping, probably. These are probably on the power supply and the filter and stuff like that. These same thing, filter for the amp. But let's see. I don't really see anything questionable. So I'd have to see if I even have any of these caps. So anyway, I'll let you guys know what I find out when I find out more on this. To be continued. If I drop it, I might not have to worry about any of it.